Hi, this is David Sinclair. I'm the author and narrator of Lifespan, Why We Age and Why We Don't Have to. The biggest misconception about aging is that it's acceptable, that it's just a natural part of life and we shouldn't do anything about it. We used to think that about cancer and heart disease and even an infected splinter that would kill you more than 100 years ago. Now we know what causes those diseases and largely how to treat them and prevent them. The same is true for aging. We now have a large understanding of what causes aging. So we should no longer regard it as acceptable or natural. We should fight it and have longer, healthier lives.
Yeah, there were a number of questions coming up about NMN and NAD. It turns out that NAD levels go up and down during the day. The NAD levels are controlled and controlling circadian rhythms. And a couple of science papers about a decade ago came out on that. And so I find anecdotally that taking my NMN when I'm traveling really does help with jet lag. And whether it's placebo or not, you can't tell with an N of 1, but it does fit with the biology that the whole circadian cycle over the 24 hours is intimately involved with NAD. Somebody asked what NAD is. So NAD stands for nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, just a small chemical that carries hydrogens around. But it's essential for the circadian rhythm. If you disrupt NAD, you actually have disrupted sleep. So Andrew, you and I are actually holding the same elephant from different ends.
Yeah, and I noticed a couple people have asked about supplements for sleep. Again, as with David, I'm not a physician, but I can talk about what I do. What I found very beneficial, and actually, I don't feel guilty about saying this because several folks who work at NIH have asked me for these protocols. They're struggling with sleep too, right? Just scientists have biologies as well. The two things that have been most helpful to me, and again, check with your doctor, are theanine, Theanine, which is a GABA precursor, GABA being a neurotransmitter that promotes calm, and magnesium threonate, which is Threonate, both of which allow people, or I should say the easier transition to sleep. They make some people quite drowsy. You wouldn't want to take them during the daytime. And again, check with your doctor, but for me, these have made all the difference. People have asked about supplementing melatonin. Melatonin's major role in development is to suppress the onset of puberty. And I get a little bit freaked out when I hear about people supplementing melatonin, especially in kids. Melatonin is chronically high in puberty and then becomes, phasic as we age. And I just generally taking hormones without any kind of regulation and without working with a doctor closely, to me, kind of freaks me out. And so it's one of the reasons why I don't take melatonin. But I do control my melatonin by getting as many photons, as much light in my eyes, not obviously to the point where you blast the retina and destroy it, because, soon this may change thanks to David and other people's work. But so far, retinal damage, you don't want it if you don't have it. Let's put it that way. But using light to control the onset of melatonin is one thing. Taking melatonin is another. So I actually discourage people to do that.
Okay. Well, I found L-theanine is fantastic. I take it most nights, actually. It's very helpful to me. And it's a nice natural way to do that. Occasionally a little bit of melatonin if needed. I've been turned on to Dr. Parsley's drink. Do you know about this? It's a
I think it's a magnesium cocktail, okay. Right?
It seems to work, so I'm onto that. But I agree with you. If you can do it naturally, it's so much better. I actually have the blue light glasses in the morning. Sometimes I use those in the middle of winter. There's a company called AYO that makes it.
So you're talking about glasses that deliver blue light, not buffer blue light. Okay.
I do both.
So that will work if they're bright. So these melanopsin cells that set the clock, they will respond well to blue light. they like these yellow-blue contrasts best, but blue light will do the trick. It's kind of an interesting story. It's an in vitro, in vivo thing. Turns out when you pull these cells out in a dish from animals, obviously, and record from them, blue light makes them fire action potentials like crazy. These are the cells that set the circadian clocks, folks. And then, but when you look at their connectivity in the intact retina, they're getting inputs from what sort of standard rods and cones. And so they will respond to red light. They'll respond to yellow light. A lot of people think the blue blocker glasses, the ones that are designed to eliminate blue light from screens, they're really only taking care of a small fraction of the mechanism. And I'm yet to see a technology that capitalizes on these new results, these yellow-blue contrast. But
what about,
I'm sure they will.
What about the program F.Lux that makes your screens turn yellow?
Yeah, that's going to help that. So the more amber hues, the color of light that is least good at triggering activation of these cells, and under conditions where you should be asleep or it's nighttime, you don't want activation of these cells. Amber light of the sort that F.Lux, the program F.Lux, or that I think Apple has incorporated into a number of their phones, that's going to buffer a large amount of the wavelengths of light that would stimulate these cells and throw your circadian clock and your habenula and potentially even your pancreas out of whack. But I think there are going to be some newer technologies to get at the yellow-blue as well.
Okay.